check out our websites. BibleQuery.org. This site answers 7,700 Bible questions. HistoryCart.com. This site reveals early church history and doctrine, proving Roman Catholicism is not historically or doctrinally viable. MuslimHope.com. This site is a classic refutation of Islam, a counterfeit religion created by Muhammad. Free newsletters are also available. To see the 1-hour version of this video, go to yahoovideo.com. Type in the name Larry Wessels.
This is one of the first times we actually see blacks turn on blacks, on a national black, and kill him.
Now we're up to what we had discussed in the chronology. The rift takes place between Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, 1964. Malcolm X is branded a traitor.
Yeah.
And I understand he goes off to Mecca.
Yes.
To check out the Orthodox Islam.
Yes.
And we need to make that clear to folks that are watching that the Nation of Islam, basically, other than lip service and using some similar terminology, has nothing to do at all with Orthodox Islam like you'd find in the Middle East.
Right.
Even the Muslims in the Middle East would say the Nation of Islam is not Islam, it's not Muslim.
Right.
It's like a cult, basically.
Right. It is a cult. Right.
And so he goes over there and finds out it's completely different, and of course, with all the problems he's already having, he comes back with a completely different perspective and starts speaking out against the Nation of Islam. And then, what is it, 1965?
Right.
Is he's killed?
Right.
In a dance hall or something like that.
The Adullam, I can't pronounce the word, the Adullam theater. And what is so significant about that is that during his trip to Mecca, I don't know what it is about Satan and this unity thing, but he gets a chance to see a unified Islamic nation like he'd never dreamed. And I believe he wanted to try to bring that reality to America. And it's interesting to know, too, as you walk your chronology, that Elijah Muhammad's son, Warith Deen Muhammad, was also expelled during this same period of time. And it's interesting that even now, he is an Orthodox Muslim. And I know that's kind of ahead of where we're going, but and has renounced some of his dad's teachings on some of those prophecies. So the point I'm making is that when Malcolm made his trip to Mecca and returned, he saw the cultic side of the Nation of Islam, and it was like night and day.
That's right. And so he's assassinated in 1965, and then what we have next is an emergence of another man coming along, a man named Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about him?
Well, after the assassination of Malcolm X, then you have the death in 1975 of Elijah Muhammad. And then you have the movement is in transition now.
And Louis Farrakhan's been involved with the Nation of Islam since the 50s, isn't that right?
Right. Louis Farrakhan was basically born in 1933. He goes to a Savior's Day convention in 1955. And that's where he hears the voice of Elijah Muhammad for the first time. And it's interesting that Louis Farrakhan was a disciple of Malcolm X. In fact, when Malcolm X moved from New York Mosque, that's who took the mosque, Louis Farrakhan. And Farrakhan then in 1977 returns to try to rebuild the Nation of Islam after the death of Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, so, and he eventually just garners support and control and is now running the Nation of Islam.
He was discipled well because he uses the same rhetoric that Malcolm X uses. If you could just watch Malcolm X in his early stages and Farrakhan, you basically see a clone.
In fact, let's take a couple of clips here, take a listen to him, and let people at home hear some of, well, let's hear first what not Malcolm X, but Louis Farrakhan thinks of Elijah Muhammad.
Bearer of witness of him. And what I'm trying to tell you is the Messiah that you've been looking for. It's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The God, the Master you've been looking for is Master Farad Muhammad. And you might as well come on now and unite with them. And let's go on and build a new world of peace and brotherhood.
Okay, we just heard Louis Farrakhan talk about how the Messiah, the Saviors, basically, is Elijah Muhammad and Wallace Fard. Like they are the Messiah, you know. And so he's really taking this this doctrine, this theology of theirs, very seriously.
Yes, he is.
Our next program after this, we'll really get into this in more detail. But just for one more sampling before we get ready to sign off here for this particular show, we'll come back for another one. Let's have another listen to Wallace. There's so many, I'm getting them all mixed up now. Louis Farrakhan, and another one of his doctrinal teachings.
Okay.
We'll take a listen and then we'll come back for our final comments.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that before the making of what we call moon, we used to write history for 35,000 years, for the moon at that time was a part of the earth. Those who sent their contraptions up to the moon, they brought back samples of rock from the moon, and they smelled what smelled like gunpowder. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the earth and the moon was once one planet. But one of our scientists who wanted the entire planet to speak the same dialect, but he couldn't enforce his will, he drilled a shaft into the then called moon and filled it with high explosives and set it off. That proved to be a great test of wisdom, for that part called moon was shot out 36,000 miles and fell, 12,000 miles and fell 36,000 miles from its original pocket. And as it was turning over, all the water on the moon fell to this part.
Well, we just heard Louis Farrakhan make some doctrinal statements based on the Nation of Islam theologies, I guess, and teachings about the moon. I mean, basically, he's getting this idea right from Elijah Muhammad.
Please contact Christian Answers for free information on numerous subjects, important subjects, such as the biblical doctrine of the Godhead, the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Free newsletters are available on the heretical position held by many unbiblical cults, such as Jehovah's Witnesses and the Oneness Pentecostals who deny the Trinity. Free newsletters are available on strange groups such as the King James Onlyites. To receive your free information, please call 512-218-8022 or email us at cdebater@aol.com. To see full-length videos on these and other subjects, go to Yahoo Video, type Larry Wessels into the search box, and click on the icon for iShoot Video or iShoot Video 2.